You talk about the circuit, you'll have the kids sit by the wall and one by one show you standing right in front of the red mat. Come stand right in front of the red mat, up so tall, down so small, look at your belly, and roll. And if they cannot do that on the red mat, then you can pull out the wedge mat and work at it on that. So for the circuit's going to be for an entire month, and the stations are just going to get a little more difficult depending on the week. So let's start right here by the red mat. The first 2 weeks, they're just going to work on a couple of donkey kicks. You can tell them to do 3 or 5 donkey kicks, and that's it. The second 2 weeks, they'll do their donkey kicks, and then they'll go straight into the last one, into a forward roll. Then they're going to walk along the paw prints and walk up the red wall. There you go. Then they're going to put their hands on the block, jump on the block, and slide through, jump off. Then they're going to come to the balance beam, and this station again, for the first 2 weeks, they're just going to do some leg switches. They'll put one foot on and switch. The second 2 weeks, they're going to try to do jumps up, which will be a little harder. If it's too hard for them, have them just stick with the leg switches. By the next station, they're going to put their hands in the bar, walk their feet up the wall, make sure to look at the pink wall, and hold it for 5 or 10 seconds. That's the first 2 weeks. The second 2 weeks, if they're ready for a challenge, you can either push the pink mat down or you can bring the red barrel in. And this time they're going to work on stacking their butt with their hands and holding. Nice. Then they're going to come to the P-bars. And the first 2 weeks, they're going to work on dips. You can choose 5 or so dips, and the second 2 weeks they're going to work on mountain push-ups. Then when they come to the high bar, the first 2 weeks they'll work on a tuck hold, knees to their belly, and the second 2 weeks they'll start their tuck hold at the end of one side and they'll work on shimmying all the way to the end in their tuck hold. By the rings, the first 2 weeks they'll work on their tuck hold, and the second 2 weeks, if they're ready, they'll work on their pike hold. Then they're going to come up the steps. They're going to work on straight body, tight jumps, engaging their abs for the whole month. Nice tight jumps until they get to the end. Jump, safety, stop. And that's the entire circuit. For the last part of class, we're going to divide into 2 groups. Okay, so in this lesson plan, we're going to divide into 2 groups, and the front of the room is going to do handstand shaping, and the back of the room is going to do P-bars. In the front of the room where they do handstand shaping, they're going to be at each station for 1 minute and 20 seconds. They're going to do 30 seconds of the drill, a static hold, 10-second break, and then 30 seconds again, and then they switch. So over here, we're going to put our hands on the floor and our feet on the blue barrel. We're going to hold a plank position for 30 seconds, get a 10-second break, do it again, and then go to the next station, which is going to be a modified hollow hold. So you're going to lay down, put your toes on the alligator, the little styrofoam blue above your head, and then you're going to lift up the noodle and hold that nice tight hollow body again for 30 seconds, 10-second break, do it again, and then move on to the purple mats. Over here on the purple mats, they are going to work on their body position. Thank you. Actually, let's go to the orange dot, and they're going to put their hands on the floor, walk their feet to the wall, and since they are not so advanced, I would recommend keeping them a little farther away from the wall and just tell them to really try to have a push in their belly and have a nice straight back. Then they're going to come down and go to the next station, which is going to be a nice tight body. They're going to lay down on the purple mat and the 2 purple mats. And what they're going to do is lift their hips up as high as they can. And Coach Malka, it's even harder if you don't put your elbows down on the mat. So this nice tight body, and they lift their hips. If this is really too hard for them, you can have them do it on their back. So they can lay on their back with their hands and feet up and lift their hips. It's a lot of an easier drill, but for some kids, they might need to do that. The next drill over here is going to be another plank, but this time where they really open their shoulders for their handstand position. So you're going to tell them to walk their hands out as far as they can away from their feet, and they're going to push their belly in and hold that position for 30 seconds. Then they're going to come to the next station, which is actually probably the most important station. They're going to squeeze their feet together, stretch their arms up high, high, high. You can also just do it against the wall, and they're going to push their hands towards the wall. Make sure they have really open shoulders and their elbows are straight. And over here by the red mat, they're going to do their half handstand, and the objective here is to stack their butt up with their shoulders and have a nice straight body line with their belly in. The next station, we're going to do some fun conditioning with the yoga ball. And they're going to work on their hollow body position. So they're going to sit on the yoga ball, put their hands on the bar, open up into a hollow body position, and the stronger they are, the farther out they can go. They can hold it for 5 seconds, bring their toes all the way to the bar, maybe once or twice, and then come back. And then they can do it. On the trampoline, they are going to jump on their phone number and then safety stop. So whatever their phone number is, they're going to jump on every number and safety stop. Very nice. And that's the front and back of the room. On bars, we're going to work on pullovers and back hip circles for most of the groups. Some kids might be a little more advanced, and you might want to start having them work on front hip circles or mill circles. So obviously they can work on their basic pullover. Some drills they can work on for pullover. A drill that they can work on is on the P-bars. So what they'll do is they'll lay down and they'll pull their chin to the bar, and then they can lay back and try to do a really big candlestick with their toes and bring it all the way over their head if possible. And that can be a really nice pullover drill for them to work on. And if you have any other pullovers drills, feel free to do them. Some back hip circle drills. So this is a back hip circle drill where you cast and you look at your toes as you bring them on top of the red mat. Nice. Another back hip circle drill. We turn the rings into a little basket. There we go. So you'll just put the 2 loops together, and then you'll put it over the bar, and you'll line up all of the hardware so that the kids don't get hurt, and you'll put it inside of the crash pad. And there you go. So the back hip circle drill here is you just do a back hip circle, but they can try it by themselves because they'll basically be sitting in the basket if they don't make it over. And the kids that are more advanced can use that exact same basket to do a front hip circle. So for the kids who are more advanced, you can have them work on a front hip circle. Don't go yet. And what you want to tell them to work on is a big, big arch where they're looking up, and they keep looking up, and as they go forward, they keep looking up and push up. Nice. And if you have any other front hip circle or back hip circle drills, you can do those as well. So hopefully you'll still have around 10-12 minutes left of class, and if that's the case, you'll set up the room in a big conditioning circuit so that they can keep getting a good workout. They really need to get strong, but also hopefully have a little bit of fun as class ends. Have fun. Maybe when I'm done, I'll send her outside with you. She's still crying. Let's start actually over here. Can you push your feet a little bit? Friends, over here, we are going to practice touching our hand or our foot. Now, am I using the same hand as the foot? No. I'm using the opposite. Coach Sam is going to be helping at this station. He's going to make sure that we have opposite hand and opposite foot like this. Step.